solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Philadelphia. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Today, we're going to be talking about your health. We have got one of the top clinics in Philadelphia. It's a wellness clinic. It's called Philly Wellness Center, and we have Katie Harris with us today. Good morning, Dr. Harris.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I was like, is he going to be able to make us? I'm here in sunny Florida, and we keep seeing how bad your weather is, and we're getting emails from companies going, we're closed today.
So well, we are closed today because of the weather, but that's why I'm at home, so screen's blurred and everything, but but we're managing.
We're glad you're here. Katie, we started promoting your show 2 days out, and I want to tell you, these are the top 3 questions. Take as long as you want. First of all, people want to know what a wellness center does. So we'll start there.
So wellness, it really looks at the person and what's going on in their body to help them to get to a certain level of health, because biochemically, your cells in everybody only works one way, right? So there's only one path in health, and what health conditions and diseases and stuff like that are deviations from that one pathway. So my cells, your cells, everybody's cells all work in a specific way. But when they don't have the resources that they need, they have to do a workaround. And that workaround manifests itself over time, right? The body's designed to deal with lots of insults and assaults to it. But over time, we accumulate so much of that. And that happens, we generally start feeling it in our mid 40s and 50s and beyond. That's where your health starts to deteriorate. So from a wellness perspective, what we're doing is we're trying to keep people on that health path for as long as possible or understand why they've deviated off of that path. So we're not so concerned with a diagnosis or a name or a condition that you have. It's more like, are your cell membranes and your mitochondria functioning optimally, right? Or optimized? And if they're not, our goal is to get them back into that realm of health, to put you back on that trajectory where you feel good and you're not in brain fog. You're not, you wake up and you feel like you haven't slept for days. Those things happen because you've deviated from that one way that the body works. So we need to get people, our goal is to get people back to that pathway and really build up a resilience, because you have a certain amount of resources in the body. And if they get depleted or they're not replenished, then the cells are forced to operate in a different way. So we want to make sure that we're replenishing or have enough, and even build a reserve so that you can fight infections, fight colds, fight COVID, that type of thing. So that's what we do at Philly Wellness in kind of a broad, high level picture.
Next question is, what supplements are best if you're trying to build up your immune system?
So I would say that the types of supplements that we recommend are kind of boring, right? You know, your general B vitamin, but not just 5 milligrams of B, but a B complex that has 100 milligrams of B1, B2, B3, B5, you know, B6. These are really powerful because B vitamins are used in almost every process in the body, right? It requires B6. They're cofactors to help other processes to happen. So when you eat, you need B vitamins to help you not to digest it, but to create the energy from that food, right? That's the purpose of eating, is to create energy for the body. We need B vitamins. And if you're lacking in B vitamins, then something's going to give, right? There's going to have to be some sort of workaround, some sort of issue. So B vitamins, very powerful. Another one we like to use is NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, and that's your precursor to glutathione. Most people, or a lot of people, know about glutathione. It's the master antioxidant. It helps clear out toxins, and it helps to clear out all kinds of excessive oxidative stress that the body's under. And if you run out of glutathione, you're going to have some serious issues. So NAC helps to maintain your glutathione levels. And then I would say something like creatine is completely underrated. Creatine is very, very powerful. The body spends a lot of energy, a lot of time making creatine. And if you just take creatine, you can take that load, that energetic load off the body, so it can focus on other things that it does. In choline, or, you know, surveilling your immune system to make sure that there's no invaders, right? Or things that aren't supposed to be there. That's what the immune system does. It monitors for things that it's your security system, right? It's going around checking to make sure everything's working properly. And when it's not, or if there's somebody there, something there that's not supposed to be there, then the immune system gets activated.
Margaret in Philadelphia says, I've watched your last two shows. I have learned so much. This might sound like a stupid question, but what's better, a multivitamin, or which probably gives you a lot of different vitamins, or taking a certain vitamin on its own?
Yeah, no, it's actually a good question, because again, I'll go back to the multivitamins. If you look on the back of a multivitamin, and you're taking that because it's, you know, you're getting all your B's in there and whatever, but they're micro doses, right? For the most part, they're really, really small amounts. They're recommended daily allowance, right? So recommended daily allowance is basically what you need so you don't die. You know, that's what, that's not an optimized level, right? So with like B1, B2, B3, like I said, you want a minimum of 100 milligrams. So if you look on your bottle, you probably have 5 milligrams or 1 milligram or something like that. Because if they were to put that much in of all of the things that are on the back of that, you know, the thing, you wouldn't be able to swallow it. It'd be so big. Right. So then in that case, if you are taking a multivitamin, you would have to take like 10 of them just to reach the amount of one. So we use a brand called Now Foods, and I don't have any affiliation with them. I don't make any money if you go out and buy them. But what I like about them is they put 100 milligrams of each of the Bs into one capsule, and it is fairly big, but it's that's all you need to take, and that hands down, it's dirt cheap. And it'll change everything for you. Like, you know, just consistently taking a full B vitamin is very powerful for the body.
Wow. Today's show is so easy because we got so many questions. Mark wants to know, I keep hearing you talk about hormone replacement. I don't understand it at all. Can you explain what hormone replacement is and who should be doing this?
So hormone replacement is in women, we replace estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. And there's lots of hormones, right? And we also look at thyroid, so we might replace thyroid. That comes into play as well. And there's DHEA and pregnenolone and those types of things. But generally when we see somebody for HRT or TRT for men, which is just testosterone replacement, we do labs first and look at the labs and determine if the hormone levels are in an optimized level or not. And then based on those labs and how the patient is feeling, we make a recommendation on how much to replace. Now, how would you know that you need hormone replacement? Well, as you come into your 40s and 50s, you start feeling a different way, right? You start having trouble sleeping. You can't fall asleep, or you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling and you can't get back to sleep, or you walk into a room and you can't remember why you're there, or you can't find the words that you're looking for. You don't have any energy. You start gaining weight, and the things that you did to lose weight before are no longer working, and it just keeps coming on. And or you're at the gym and you're working out and it's harder to do the things that you used to do quite easily, right? Or to maintain the same muscle mass, you have to work so much harder to get there, and part of that is because of the loss of testosterone. Another thing that comes on is moodiness or depression and apathy, just lack of motivation. Those things we initially think, it's what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not motivated anymore? Why do I not care anymore? Why don't I want to have sex anymore? Those types of things. That mood shift is not, it's not a character flaw. It's a decrease in testosterone, most likely. And it happens in women very abruptly because they're churning along. And then all of a sudden the ovaries stop and the testosterone just plummets. In men, it's a little bit more gradual. So, in their 30s and 40s, that they start feeling it. By the time they're 50, they're like, oh gosh, they're nowhere near what they were when they're 30s, but it's not the abrupt change. So when you feel like things are trending downwards, right? Like they're not getting better no matter what you do. It's probably time to at least get labs checked. And I would say if you're in your 50s, you should probably get a comprehensive panel done, at least to get started moving into, the second half of your life, to see where you are and to see how we can optimize to maintain you where you are, because that's essentially what we're trying to do.
This is from Myrna. Myrna wants to know, you've kind of answered some of these already. She said, I am 73 years old. I am visiting the Philadelphia area and found your show. I have a problem is I'm having trouble falling asleep. I'm hardly eating anything at all, but I'm gaining weight. I'm not looking for you to diagnose me, but do you do telemedicine? And what do you think it could be?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there could be a lot of things, but yeah, we absolutely do telemedicine. And we do. So I can prescribe in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, but we can do a telemedicine. If you're outside of those areas, we can certainly talk to you and work with your primary. So we do that. But if you're in those 3 states, then, basically we can prescribe, we can check your labs, we can go over your health history, because your health history alone is going to tell us a lot. And most of the stuff that I use anyway is going to be supplements and lipid replacement therapy. So we can guide you through the process of that, because it's stuff that the public can buy. It's there's certain places where you have to have a medical account in order for the patients to buy it. So I have access to those, but you can absolutely get the therapies that we do in a non-prescription. There's actually very few medications that I would order prescription based. And if you needed that, I would just work with a primary or a nurse practitioner in your area.
This is from Mary. Mary wants to know, she said, I'm so confused with all these injections now. I think I need to go on it, but there's so many and they make so many promises. Who do you like for the skinny injection?
So the skinny injection, I'm assuming she is referring to the semaglutide.
Yes.
So yeah, because there's a couple of them. There's Lipo C. There's a couple things that you could do, but most people are interested in the semaglutide. So the brand names are Ozempic and Wegovy. So those are FDA approved. One of them's approved for weight loss. The other one's approved for something else I can't remember. But regardless, those are your two brands. And in order to get those, you have to have a BMI of 30 or 27 with 2 chronic diseases, which, it's not hard to come up with chronic disease. And usually if you have one, you have more than one. So that's not a problem. But the problem, and then insurance will hopefully pay for those depending on your insurance. If you try to buy those out of pocket, you're looking at about $1,500 a month for those brand name. So we work with a very reputable compounding pharmacy. Now, compounding pharmacies, there's a lot of noise about those. They are an unregulated group of pharmacies. So there's, they're all over the map. There's really amazing compounding pharmacies that go above and beyond, and they literally pay the FDA to sit in their facilities and sign off that they're doing above and beyond. And then there's other compounding pharmacies that I don't know, somebody's running out of their basement, right? Like, so the quality control isn't there. So to be very, very careful about who you're working with. And in the field that I'm in, it's very well known who's who in this group, because if you're not known in this group, then there's a problem. Right. So we work with a very high quality type of compounding pharmacy, and they make the semaglutide for us. So the semaglutide is it is the generic version of those brand name medications.
The president said he made some kind of a deal with these companies to bring the price down. Have you seen that yet?
I have not. You mean with the brand name?
Yes.
Well, they got a lot of wiggle room because it's outrageous that they're charging as much as they are. They'll still make lots and lots and lots of money, even if they brought it down to $500.
Yes, like he made a big announcement that they're going to be bringing the price down. I got to tell people this. I think it's so important. I'm on Ozempic, and I got to tell you, and we've talked about this on the show before, my labs, Katie, have gotten so much better. I have kidney problems, and they always said it's not going to get better. We want to keep them from getting worse. But mine have actually gotten better. My lab reports have gotten better, and it's got to be from the Ozempic. And I just wonder, because it hasn't been around that long, if there's other things that these injections are doing towards your health. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, and there's lots of research on this. I actually, wrote a whole book on semaglutide, and the things that it does. I actually use it in pain management. So, in patients that don't need to lose weight, but they have an inflammatory process going on, I use semaglutide, and that's part of my core pain protocol is semaglutide injections. And then it's great for cardiovascular health. It really helps with insulin resistance. So that's originally where it came from, was the diabetics. When the diabetics started on semaglutide, they lost a whole bunch of weight and they had better insulin sensitivity. They've also done some interesting research in psych, in that it helps with addictive tendencies. So, they would give it to, and this is a really, really small study, but it was exciting because they gave it to patients with alcoholism, and the patients just would stop they would forget to drink. It wouldn't occur to them to get a drink. Yeah. So it helped dramatically with that. So it's also something that anybody that has like OCD or, these different, I don't mean to say OCD and heroin addicts in the same sentence, but that there's that compulsiveness, right? That they share in common. And the semaglutide has a role in helping to control that because you do have receptors on the brain. The GLPs, that is the hormone that's in semaglutide, Wegovy, Ozempic. And it's something that the body makes. So you have receptors on your cells for semaglutide, for GLP, and you have receptors throughout the entire body. You have them in the brain. So it's impacting those aspects of it. And I've had people that have started this hormone and they don't initially lose weight. And I say, just wait. I'm like, nobody's resistant to the GLP-1 hormone, but it might be that you have a lot of, you're just not taking enough because it's dealing with a lot of things. It's trying to prep the body to lose weight. Losing weight is very, very low on the totem pole of things that the body has to do. It's got to lower inflammation. It's got to, calm down a lot of systems. You have to reduce your stress, and then the weight can come off. But the body's first priority is to make sure that you survive today, not that you lose weight. So it does work and it will work, but you have to help it, and you have to recognize that there's probably other things going on in the body, which is one of the reasons that you've gained weight in the first place. That the GLP-1 is helping to fix.
Gosh, I got about 10 more questions and we only have a few minutes left. Let me see. Let's go to, is there a good supplement for stress, Katie?
I like ashwagandha and some sort of any kind of the mushrooms. Paul Stamets, he's a mycologist. He created a mushroom line. You can get it on Amazon. That's like the highest quality that I've seen. It's amazing. But rhodiola, those types of things, they help, especially adrenal fatigue, excess stress, those types of things I would look into. Lion's mane.
Oh, okay. Katie is with us every month, and by your emails, people really enjoy your show, Katie. Tell people how they can reach you.
So they can go to our website at phillywellnesscenter.com. They can call, text, or chat with us, 215-709-9710, or email us at info@phillywellnesscenter.com.
Katie, we are so lucky to have you. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you next month.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Katie. That's Dr. Katie Harris. She's in the Philadelphia area. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back in with you next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.